Welcome to This Week with ClearAdmit. I'm Graham Richmond, the co-founder of ClearAdmit. And this week, what I want to talk about are two things. The first is that we have a flurry of deadlines coming up in September. Between the 3rd and 17th of September, there are literally 13 of the top 16 US MBA programs with early or round one deadlines. So you're going to need to plan accordingly for that and make sure each deadline's on your radar and that you're not losing sight of the end goal here. So good luck to everyone on that front. The other thing I wanted to talk about is a trend I'm seeing in MBA admissions around this season. And I think some of it's driven by ChatGPT, but I just want to share kind of 3 data points. The first is that Berkeley Haas, which have this amazing essay they've used for many years, which is essentially what makes you feel alive and why, they've shifted that this year into a video that you have to submit online. You only get 2 takes to do it. And I suspect that some of what's driving the shift from a written essay, to a video is really around ChatGPT. The second data point I wanted to share comes from Patrick Olson over at UT Austin McCombs. We had him on a webinar recently, and he mentioned that in the office over at McCombs on the admissions team, they're not really using essays at this point to judge your writing skills. They recognize that most people are getting a bit of an assist. And so that's kind of an interesting comment. And I know, they still require essays, et cetera, but the fact that they're relying less on them as a judge of one's English skills, I think is an important point. And the final thing that I wanted to share is a quote that we received from J.R. McGrath. He recently did an admissions director Q&A with ClearAdmit, in which he flat out stated that the admissions interview is the most important part of the process over at Tepper at Carnegie Mellon. And I think that's important as well. And he goes on to detail why that is, but it's because, it's their chance to meet you, whether it's in person or virtually. But I also suspect that some of that is due to the fact that any of the written materials that are coming in, prepared in advance, et cetera, everyone has time to really work through. The interview is always going to be a little bit more of the real you, right? The less polished version, et cetera. So in any event, 3 interesting points that I think all align and point to some shifts taking place in MBA admissions. We'll see you next week with another update. Thanks for tuning in.